Welcome to Dawn Adventures. The Torndirrup National Park is located a short drive from Albany and accessible to two-wheel drives. Playing host to famous landmarks such as the Gap, the Blowholes and Natural Bridge, it is one of the most visited national parks in WA. Covering almost 4,000 hectares, it boasts some of the most breathtaking hikes this state has to offer. Set against the fury of the Southern Ocean, spectacular granite headlands and pristine white sandy beaches. So, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel as we explore this amazing area. Morning, up nice and early this morning. It's a typical Albany day. It's overcast, it's windy, it's cold, and it's the middle of summer. But I've wanted to sort of beat some of the traffic in the area. I want to get the drone up in some of these areas out in the national park. So we've come out on Frenchman's Bay Road, and this is Jimmy NEWELLS. This area is called Jimmy NEWELLS. It's on NEWELLS Road, and it got that name after a fisherman who was working in this area became pretty stuck in some really treacherous weather and ended up in this natural little harbour here, looking out into that ocean. And particularly from the drone, you can just see how powerful this Southern Ocean is and how scary it would be once things get up and going. So he ended up in this harbour. Now, of course, this area is home to the Noongar people, the indigenous traditional owners in this area. They've obviously been, in Australia for thousands, 50,000 years. But it did say there that Jimmy came out from New South Wales in 1826, I think it was. They had a real crack at having a colony in Albany, in this area, before things eventuated in Swan River up in Perth. So it's almost 200 years now, and that is the really cool thing about Albany. It is absolutely steeped in history. Particularly, around that 1914 mark, when people started heading off to war as well, this area was heavily used. A lot of Navy ships, a lot of people left Albany. This was the last piece of Australia that they ever saw, so certainly a heap of history in this area. That's Stony Hill now, heading for bit of a look here. I said before, it's a typical Albany day. As I've said that, it's now started to rain. So middle of summer, and it's raining and it's cold and it's windy, but this area is just so beautiful, so it's definitely worth getting out to have a look. Granite rocks are absolutely spectacular, and so is the view right out over the ocean. It's beautiful. here, you can look back. I can see the silos back at Albany. It's an absolutely breathtaking view to be able to look out right across the Southern Ocean there, and then right back across the harbour, the natural harbour that's there, and the beautiful beaches as well that are just below. Again, as I mentioned before, this area is steeped in history, particularly around the wars. There's lots of little bits and pieces around here, just remembering the people that worked out here. So they use this space, because you can see for so far, as a signal post and an observation area. So it's saying on the sign down there, if this area was taken because every boat needed to pass by here if they're going to the eastern states, it was taken by enemy, it'd be a really, really bad situation for the Allies. So even better than looking out to the harbour from the other side of the rocks there, this track actually brings you down. This stuff's going to be really slippery too, so I'm just watching myself down there. But yeah, the track brings you down to that northern side, and you can then actually see back right across to Albany and the beautiful beaches that are sitting down there as well. Absolutely stunning. So the track's taking us back to the car now. Only really short, but absolutely spectacular to be able to see right out over that Southern Ocean. And then as you come around to be able to see right into Albany as well, everything's so green, so nice. So just 100 metres, 50 metres before the Stony Hill sort of section, there's a little turn off for the Peak Head, and I'm just driven in and there's a sign there that says it's a 2-hour trek. I wonder if that is that trail that I could see heading right out to one of those points out in the coast there. So I have to get back to some internet and check that out. I really want to put on the list, I think, one of these walks out here. There's a couple of walks out this way that are, you know, about 15-20 k's, 5-6 hours, and I think doing something like that, particularly down this way where, you know, you can choose the right day and it's not going to be too hot, and I think, you know, be very manageable. But it's just the scenery here, everything's so green. It's the middle of summer and you've got these views, these spectacular views right out over the ocean, and then in stages where you can see back over these beaches on the town side as well. I think it would be just absolutely unreal. I'm back on the Frenchman's Bay Road heading out to the National Park. Being out at Jimmy's this morning and doing that bit of a walk there sort of inspired me to find a trail or something like that. To get out to this one, it's nice and close to town. It's only probably 15 minutes maybe is the turn off, so you're heading down Torndirrup Road, and once down there, I think it's only sort of 2 k's off the road or something like that. So nice and close to town. It's only 6 k's, so you know, maybe a couple of hours type thing. So definitely nice and accessible for me in my present fitness state, and I'm sure, you know, families will be able to do this one as well. Point Possession Heritage Trail is actually 5 kilometres in length, and it's a grade 3 walk, so it's suitable for most fitness levels. The starting point is here at Whalers Cove before you walk along the beach of the Vancouver Peninsula, out to Point Possession and back along in at Brambles Beach. Captain George Vancouver named Point Possession in 1791, and there is a cairn to mark where the ceremony took place, which was rebuilt in 1972. From this position, there are incredible views across Princess Royal Harbour back to the town of Albany. The wind is pelting in from the east today, so as I walked along the beach on that other side, you really cop it as you're walking along, but on this side you've got the little bit of the barrier, this bit of a headland and the bushes and that sort of stuff. The water on this side is just as calm as and clear, beautiful. As you head off the beach and back onto the trail, you pass fairly close to Camp Quarrenup. This was originally built across a 20-year period, finishing in 1897 and used as a quarantine station after some serious illness was being brought into Albany from passengers aboard ships. It was also used by the US during World War II before it was decommissioned in 1956. In 1977, the complex was deemed significant by the National Trust, so the buildings were preserved and the site is now used predominantly as a camp school. So let's go around that big headland, walk back down the beach, now back on the same track we started on to get back to our car. So this last probably kilometre is what we've already covered earlier on. Potentially can't hear me, but once we got back up on this peak, the wind, as I said before, it's been really strong easterly, but since we took off, it's been about an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's really picked up now, it is strong. Come back down that hill, you can see that water down there so clear. It's very inviting after that hike. Of course, I didn't bring my bathers or a towel, which isn't smart, so I certainly suggest you do that if you're coming here. Although it's windy, as I say that, there's a massive gust. Although it's windy, you could get right down in the other corner there and you'd be right out of it. It'd be perfect. So the Point Possession trail took me literally spot on 2 hours, and I'm pretty sure it's 6 Ks. I messed around with the drone and getting some different shots and that sort of stuff. So, if you were really steaming through it, you could probably do it in an hour and a half, but certainly, a decent pace, 2 hours. If you've got the kids with you, it's probably 2.5, but it is a really, really worthwhile place to visit. There were some spots, it was a little bit hard to work out where you were supposed to go. It's not signed as well as some other trails that I've done, but it is really, really worth it. Particularly those sections where you can see both inside Princess Royal Harbour there and out into the ocean, and that stretch of land through there, that's really special and something worth seeing. So I can definitely recommend that. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have a swim at the end there, that little nook, because it was right in that section that's protected from that easterly wind. The water was just glorious, particularly after walking 6 Ks and spending a couple of hours out there in the sun. So definitely bring your bathers, even on a sort of cold day. Today is definitely not warm, but you definitely want to get into that water after you've gone for your hike. As you're leaving the Point Possession Heritage Trail in that area, heading back out on the left hand side, there's Mistaken Island Road, and just had a quick look down there, and that's another absolutely glorious Torndirrup beach. Again, the white sand and clear water, but with that easterly really pushing through, it's pretty chopped up there. The best thing about Albany is there's so many different bays. So on a day like today, where you've got the easterly coming in and those areas are quite windy, you know that there's other areas that you can go to, particularly on the other side there of Frenchman's, that there'd be some really nice spots and be really protected. Thanks so much for watching. Please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel, it does help us out. Here's some other videos that you might like.